pleasure to introduce Marian Pavel of Touch Media. He's the developer of the Route 66 navigation app and the Mother Road Route 66 passport. He started his career as a journalist. Later, for more than 10 years, he was in senior management and led development digital activities for the biggest publishing houses in Slovakia. In 2017, he left the media business to fully focus on the development of the navigation app, guidebook, and passport. Marian has traveled the road extensively, developed an intimate knowledge of the Route 66 community, and established numerous cooperative partnerships with authors, community leaders, business owners, Route 66 Association directors, and tourism directors. His presentation is entitled Understanding International Tourism on Route 66.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. I feel shy because I see a lot of people here. So, I will talk about international tourism because when we started, when we launched our application on the market, we missed some hard data. How it works on Route 66, there was just economic impact study based on estimations. So we decided from first moment to collect data and work with them. This is the first time when I share some data from our application and other pages and book with you, because we collected this data more than 1 year, so the basis for evaluation is pretty good right now. First, I very briefly introduce myself. As Katy said, we are developers with my business partner Shwechek of application. Last year we published free Route 66 guidebook, which we for first time translated to 6 world languages. This is another source of data because we collect data how much people download the language versions of the book, so we can see the interest, and you will see it very soon. And this summer we introduced Route 66 passport. This is another source of data which I will share with you today. And of course, I worked for media industry, but we travel a lot. So everything what we do based on our travel passion and understanding of travelers' needs. Okay, what does Route 66 represent for international roadies? For us, it's a freedom feeling. For you, it's maybe something very usual, but I have example. On the way from Bratislava, Slovakia, where I live, to Vienna airport, I can count 22 speed cameras on the highway. It's about 60 kilometers. This is something what we hate in Europe and what we love in America, because you have freedom. You can, of course, you can't speeding here because you have policemen, but you have no speeding cameras everywhere, as we in Europe. Second thing is never-ending road. Europe is so small in comparison to America, and every road in Europe literally ends somewhere, but here you all the time reach the horizon. It's something very special for us and we love it. Pop culture, I think that it's very clear and easy. What we don't have in Europe, in comparison with you, are preserved places in the original condition from 40s, 50s, 60s. This is something what I personally love. If it's launching pad, or Lutzker Motel, or Roadrunner, Motel Safari, old gas stations, it's something what is very special for us when we visit America and we can stop at these places. We love it, and you can see on the Facebook there's a lot of pictures of that. Of course, adventure and ride alone on Route 66 is something what is another special thing for us. You know it very well. There are sections on Route 66 where a couple of hours you don't meet anybody. That's something what I love personally on traveling Route 66. Another thing is American gloss or neon signs. We don't have neon signs, so much neon signs as you, especially on Route 66. It's something what we love. There's another thing, nature. America is totally different than Europe. I speak mostly for Europeans because I live there, I know there. I know Europe because I traveled Europe across many times. And it's something what is something usual for you, but for us, it's absolutely unusual. If it's changing of the nature during the traveling on Route 66, Illinois, Missouri is something which is very similar to Europe. But Oklahoma, the prairie and deserts, Mojave deserts, is something very special for us. Of course, we have many unique places on Route 60 in Europe, as you have on Route 66. So it's something what we can find in Europe. So I make this marker here, and people, of course, people are great everywhere in the world, especially on Route 66. Okay, as I said, we try to collect some data and figure out who are international travelers on Route 66. Since May 2018, we started to build something like umbrella under the domain Route 66 navigation. There is a product page for the application. We published a blog about Route 66. We published ultimate guidebook page under Route66.com umbrella. Also, we have their Route 66 passport page. And 1 month ago, we launched Route 66 navigation shop with a merchandise like these t-shirts. It allows us to collect a lot of data, what people searching on our pages, what they are visiting, and from which countries came. So for us, currently, is the main source of users' data for us. Also, we have 3 segments of products which allows us to recognize people who are just thinking about traveling Route 66, who are preparing for a trip, and who are already traveling or they are very short time before their departure. Okay, so this is overview for Route 66 navigation, from which countries people come there. So maybe for you it's nothing surprising that Spain is on the first place. With United Kingdom, France, Germany. As we are based in Slovakia, I was really surprised how much people from Slovakia visits our webpage. And you will see that on a book that Slovakia is on the first place in downloads of our book from our page. Route 66 is a phenomenon because in former Czechoslovakia, Czech and Slovak Republic, Route 66 is extremely popular. So maybe that's the reason why people go there. What is, for me, a surprise, it's these 2 countries, India and Turkey. I didn't expect it. You will see these 2 countries repeating on other pages. This is the overall view for users of Route 66 guidebook users. We put all together data from Google Books, Apple Books, and our webpage. I was really surprised that Slovakia is on first place. My book is really popular in my country. I'm known in my country as a specialist for Route 66, so I provide assistance, guided tours, individual travelers. This year I provided service to 5 tours of travelers on Route 66 and many individuals. So people download it like crazy. But you can see that United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, France, Germany is repeating countries from Europe. And in interest for a book, you can see Mexico as another country, which is interesting for me to see it in this top list of the countries. This is something what maybe its most interesting things because this is a list of countries of real Route 66 navigation application users. These are people who are traveling Route 66. So again, you can see that we are very strong in United Kingdom, very strong in Italy, Spain, Germany. But again, you can see that what's the point of this? You can see again India and Turkey as a two, for me, surprises in this top list. I was surprised this year with Russia. I personally met some people from Russia on Route 66, so I believe that it's true that the interest is rising from this country for Route 66. And what I didn't mention, this is just the part of statistics, because 40% of our users are created by Americans. So this is just part for overseas countries. The ratio 40-45% is the same for book, web page, and our application. So we have a very strong market here, and people from America using our application and other products are really important for us. Again, for me, it's a surprise because when I did some research here, people told me that Americans don't buy it, they know Route 66, but you see that 40% of all our users are created by Americans. Okay, we don't work just with the numbers, we work also with classified analysis of keywords. We have classified analysis what people are searching for on the internet before they travel Route 66. For this year, we identified 100 most searched phrases about Route 66. It helps us understand more what people are expecting, what people are searching for before they travel Route 66, and it helps us to adjust our products to fulfill their expectations. So it's really, really important for us to work with that. And it will be more and more important for, by my opinion, for tourism bureaus, associations, and gift shops, because it can help improve the business on Route 66. What we want to do until the end of this year is evaluation of spending, because of course we offer paying products, especially our application, the navigation features are paid. So we plan to have ready until the end of this year some statistics and evaluate countries by spend to understand better from which country people are willing to spend money on Route 66. We found that there are huge differences between Android users and iPhone users. So we need more time to evaluate it and find some correlations between it. And by my opinion, it will be really interesting to see which people are willing to pay for the products on Route 66, and it can help businesses on Route 66. For example, to know if they have Spanish clients, they have better chance to sell them some merchandise or some products on Route 66. What we plan for next year, we will start to collect data from users' geolocations. We will work more with information how people move on Route 66, in which direction, it's westbound or eastbound. But for us as a company based in Europe, it's risky because we have GDPR. It means that there is a law who protects users' data. So what we can collect is data which are anonymized. We can't connect this data with real users and real names. So we need more time to prepare the project because the penalties, if you break the law, are on liquidation level. It's about €1 million for a company. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that this data will be really useful for people on Route 66 to understand better how people travel on Route 66. And as I said, it's a hard data, not estimations, but hard data from application. Other data we will collect from our e-shop. Again, it's interesting because we are shipping to whole world. It's interesting for us to see people from which countries are ordering the merchandise and passports on our e-shop. As I said, why these data are so important? For us, we'd like to know better which part of travelers do whole Route 66, how much people travel just a part, just a section of Route 66. We call them short trippers. They travel just for 3-4 days. And these data will help to better economic development of businesses on Route 66. This is what we want to achieve as our goal. And for us, it's really interesting to identify needs of guided tours and individual tourists, because we are mostly offer products currently for individual tourists. This is something what I want to show you, because in searching or understanding how it works on Route 66, we found a really cool article on Washington Post. Here is the address of this, which has a lot of information and again hard data about drop-off overseas tourism in USA, which started in 2016 year, continues this year, and is expected until 2022. Some of us discussed it in Holly, in launching part, feel the drop. They see that this season that they lost a lot of international travelers in comparison with previous years. Is here somebody else who has this kind of experience? Okay, I found that this source, Commerce Department's National Travel and Tourism Office, published very interesting data about overseas tourism for every year. You can lay in these tables for hours and find them very interesting information. So this is the first half of this year. So it means that these data are really fresh. You can see that United Kingdom and Spain are just two countries which are doing well. Other countries are on the stagnation level or drop. Also, you can see China after the trade tension between USA and China. I read yesterday some fresh news about it, and the drop for this year is expected between 15 and 30%. But you can see that very important countries like Germany are not so good. France, the same, stagnation, slightly in February, slightly increased, but for other rest of first half of the year, stagnation. Netherlands, Brazil, Canada. Canada was a surprise for me, because a lot of people told me that they meet Canadians on Route 66 on a daily basis. But these are data from this year. So, why is this happening? This is my question.
They don't feel safe.
Sorry?
They don't feel safe anymore.
It's possible.
Brexit.
The dollar, the exchange rate is affecting
Yeah.
a lot of countries.
I tried to read a lot of articles about this. I tried to identify some reasons. Unfortunately, I didn't find any source of the, again, hard data or answers. So everything is just speculations. But you have a strong dollar. Your economy is doing well. This is a fact. For us from Europe, it's more and more expensive to travel USA in comparison 3 years ago, for example. Politics and trade tensions. You was able to see the drop of Chinese tourists, and you can expect the same from Turkey. because there is another tension in Turkey. Another threat is a global economic cooling. It's different than crisis from 2008 here, because now we can feel that the economic crisis is starting in Europe. Yes, 12 years ago it started in America, Lehman Brothers and other bank houses, but now we can feel the huge cooling down of economy in our countries in Europe, including Slovakia. So it can cause that people have less money for travel, and nobody knows what will happen, nobody knows what we have to prepare for. Mass shootings is a big issue in Europe for tourists. I had a lot of questions about that. How safe I can feel in America. People from Europe are really afraid. After every new mass shootings, a lot of questions about it, a lot of concerns if it's safe to travel America. Fortunately, there was no mass shooting on Route 66. Fortunately, but I don't want to offend you. Maybe it's just a question of time. I don't know what can happen. It should be tragedy. If it happened on Route 66, it will be very bad because people will have a lot of fear to travel Route 66 after that. Especially, I can tell you that for last 30 years in Slovakia, Czech Republic, we had 0 mass shootings. We don't know these kind of situations. So people are really, really afraid of that. This year, I had a lot of discussions about the rental prices. I don't know how much of you have experienced that it's priced up. Every year the prices goes up. My fresh experience is that 5 weeks before our trip here, we tried to rent a car through rentalcar.com aggregator. And they asked us for 33 days, $3,000. So I let it be. 1 week before the trip, we rented the same car with the same specification for $2,200. So we saved up to $800. Just we rented it in last minute. It's crazy, and people see that, and they are really angry because they feel that somebody wants to trick me, somebody wants to steal my money. The same situation is with motorcycle rentals. Eagle Ride company is rising up the prices every year, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that for 15 days it's about $3,000 now. 3 years ago I paid $2,000, so it's $1,000 per through 3 years change. It's too much for people. And the last thing is, I was surprised a bit about it. If you travel to America, you have proceed a lot of control. If you compare it with other countries in the world, it's really strict when you travel to America. You have to be 2 hours before the flight on the airport. There is a never-ending queues in the airport and multiple controls. Some people feel annoyed with that because they feel that I never did anything wrong. Why I should proceed this? For me, I travel a lot here. I'm pragmatic. It's like this, okay? But some people tell us that it's the reason why they thinking and considering if they will travel or not. They feel it very personally. Okay, this is for me really interesting research, which is published every year by Eurostat. This is a statistic company which is run by European Commission. And this is interesting data because if we want to understand how European travels, we need to see that 15% of Europeans choose USA as a top destination. But just 15% of all Europeans travel abroad. So it means that 15% from 15% travel to America. 85% of Europeans spend their money in Europe and travel across the Europe. By my opinion, it means that there is a huge potential how to attract people to travel more America, especially on Route 66. Especially when in 2019, the amount of outbound trips is expected to rise by 6%. If you compare it with this, people more travel to Middle East and Asia than to Americas. It means to North and South America. It's not USA. It's just 3%. These data show us that there is a huge potential and huge opportunity to attract more people from Europe to travel to America and to Route 66. What would affect incoming tourism from Europe? Here is blue. Maybe you can confirm it. It should be Brexit.
Yes. Your figures earlier, look what the big month drop-off was, March. All the major European countries just fell off a cliff in March.
Okay.
And I think when the next 6 months come out, it will be October.
Mm-hmm. And the last information is, I read it before this presentation, that your parliament refused Brexit.
Parliament has put through, and there's supposed to be another extension. But our Prime Minister says he isn't going to go to that, so it's going to go to court.
Yeah. And
It's all up in the air again. It's all the uncertainty again.
Mm-hmm. It's a complicated situation which can affect tourism coming from UK. And as you had to see in my top list, UK is almost on first or second place of all tourists who are travels Route 66. So it has connection, and it's important connection. And of course, as I said, cooling of economy should be another reason of drop tourism from Europe. Nobody knows what will happen, so we need to wait and we will see. Okay, this is interesting picture because this is probably most popular picture of Route 66 in Europe. You can see that something wrong, right?
Yeah.
But this picture is showing us situation how people from Europe see Route 66. There is a lack of promotion. People don't know how to travel Route 66. People don't know what Route 66 provide them for the money. Trip on Route 66 for two isn't cheap for people from Europe. Overall, when I counted it, all expenses together, flight tickets, motels, food, gift shops, entries to museums and other places, it's about $10,000 per two people. What you can, it's about 8,000 euro. You can get luxury vacation anywhere in the world for this money. So it means that there is a huge competition. If people decide to travel somewhere, there is a huge competition of destinations, and a lot of destinations, a lot of countries promote their country. We have a lot of advertisements in television for Malaysia, Taiwan, Turkey, I don't know, all the countries which try to attract people to travel them there and spend their money. But unfortunately, I didn't see any advertisement for Route 66 in my life in Europe. So I think that main reason for dropping of overseas tourism is also lack of promotion, because people need more about Route 66. People need more about how unique it is to travel Route 66. What I can see, of course, there is a lot of existing Facebook pages and web pages, but they are focused on existing people who are interested in traveling. They don't attract new people who don't know anything about Route 66, mostly, of course. So how to fix these lost opportunities? I try to think about that, and I think that there is a lot of room to promote Route 66 and compare Route 66 with other destinations in the world, and use its uniqueness, because Route 66 is unique if you compare it with boring vacation in Malaysia, for example. Lay down on the beach for 2 weeks, or travel unique Route 66. Wow. Also, we have big problem with mass tourism in Route 66 in Europe. Sorry, mass tourism means that last 10-15 years there is a lot of really cheap airlines, and you can fly over Europe for 20, 15, 10 euro. It's about $20. It's really cheap. So on other side, it opened a lot of opportunities to travel and see the cities across the Europe. But on other hand, you can't move in Venice, you can't move in Rome, you can't move in London, Paris, Milan. It's horrible. It's horrible. I travel usually every year during the New Year Eve. I travel with my children across the Europe by car. Last year we spent time in Genova in Italy, and we made a trip to Milan for 1 day. So we came to Milan, parked our car, see the square, turn back, sit down in the car, and run away. You can't imagine that, head on head. You're going like this. So Route 66 represents freedom on the road, and this is advantage because you have real freedom. There is no mass tourism on Route 66. Also, we need to communicate more what I can get for premium price for the trip. As I said, for 8,000 euro you can travel anywhere in the world. So why I should travel to America for Route 66? Also, we need to explain more why is Route 66 so special to avoid this. It's nice. We can see it as an opportunity to people to attract people for more discussion about what Route 66 is, and for explanation that okay, it's nice, but this is not Route 66. And profile Route 66 as life's must-to-see destination. So I think that channels like social media, Google Ads, and YouTube are enough for this kind of promotion. And also, we have a lot of travel fairs, bikers festivals, and Route 66 festival, and one European Route 66 festival until today in Europe, where Route 66 can be promoted. We attended as a Touch Media Route 66 navigation Harley Davidson anniversary in Prague last year, and again this year it was something like after party. Last year there was 120,000 people. The Prague in Czech Republic was full of Harleys, full of people, and the attention in our stand there was huge. We were really positively surprised how much people asked us, how much people asked for providing assistance about Route 66. So this is a big opportunity to promote Route 66, which is not expensive. Okay, I'd like to tell you what Touch Media does for increasing our overseas tourism, because when we entered the market with the application, we promised that we do our best to take more tourists from Europe to Route 66 and help businesses with economic development in Route 66. At the end of this year, we introduced a new campaign where we change our approach based on this presentation, and we will communicate Route 66 as something when you make your dreams come true. We will change these claims, and we will try to attract more people through emotion to travel Route 66. Also, we change our focus from navigation to our carousel of our products, which we are currently providing to Route 66 tourists. It's a Route 66 guidebook, it's a Route 66 shop, navigation, and passport. So we will show them that they can be ready, prepare their road trip, buy some merch, and be safe on Route 66 with navigation and have fun with the passport. We decided also extend our Route 66 guidebook with a lot of advices with 2 new languages, Czech and Portuguese. Czech is already translated. After I will be back home, I will prepare the book in Czech language, and Portuguese is 80% finished. So I hope we will launch it until the end of this year. So the book will be published in 8 versions, which will promote Route 66 and places on Route 66. We still considering Chinese, although we can see the guided tours with Chinese here, but I discussed with a lot of people on Route 66, and they told me that they can see the rise of individual tourists. I believe that this trade tension will end someday, and Chinese will be back. Just one barrier is the price for translation to Chinese. It's killing me. So maybe I need to ask my children to not eat for half year, and we will translate it.
Send them to school to learn Chinese.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, but if they will not eat, it will be finished in 6 months. They will study. It will be 6 years maybe. I don't know. Okay, this year we had a lot of discussions with Route 66 communities, and Jim Hinckley helped us a lot with his experience and professional opinion about routing, how to route people on Route 66 in our application. Because our goal is to provide the best service to travelers on Route 66, to help them find historic sections of Route 66, but in the same time to help businesses to grow on Route 66. We are showing all these points of interest in advance. When people approaching the place, they can see a bubble, yellow bubble with the name of the point of interest, and you can decide if they will stop or not. Also, we decided in certain places to slightly change routing. This is a Kingman, because in last 3 years we can see a big development in Kingman downtowns. They have very nice breweries, very good restaurants, and places which are worth to stop. So we changed the routine from Andy Devine Street to Beery Street, like this, to show people these places and go back on original Route 66. We promised our users to keep them on historic parts of Route 66. So every change like this is very strictly considered. And if we do this kind of change, we have to see a big added value for travelers. So we are considered the same in Cuba, Missouri. We slightly changed the routing there to show people more places which are worth for stop, like in Kingman. We currently working on St. Louis, which will be easier for us because St. Louis has many sections of Route 66 from various years. So we just change current section for another one to show them St. Louis from better perspective. And we are open to discuss something like that with all of you. If anybody have idea how to improve routing, how to improve user experience or travel experience of people on Route 66, we can change it in, we have content management system for that, so we can change it in application and try to evaluate if it helps the local businesses or not. Okay, Route 66 passport. I'm really glad to see the success of Route 66 passport this year. I was really surprised because, of course, frankly, I expected that it will be successful, but it was more successful than I expected. This is the feedback from certain places who are using Route 66 passport as a marketing tool. It's the STEM places, and we can see the increase of stops between 40 and 50% on many of these places. We are changing the way how people travel Route 66 because many of us can see people, we call it zoo tourism. They just stop, pull down the window, make a picture, go. The passports make them stop, go out from the car for a stamp, and stamp places have an opportunity to talk with the people, show them more promotional materials, recommend them local restaurants, museums, everything. I'm really glad to see that a lot of places, a lot of tourism bureaus who are participants in Route 66 passport program use it. Pontiac, thank you very much. People love Pontiac stop place. We have great feedback from passport users. Another place is St. Robert, Bethwowes. Mark Cockrum from Springfield has a small store because tourism office in Springfield refused cooperation. So Mark Cockrum called us that, oh, I'm so excited, I want to be a participant. So we tried. People are happy because he has a big map and they make a selfies there and put a pin on the map on the countries. And he increased his sales up to 40%. And we still have a fun with this place. It's not just for business that he sells more t-shirts or something like that, but he can entertain people on Route 66 and provide them a good service. The same is Dora Meroni from Texas Ivy Antiques, Bob Lyle Gallery. You know them, I think everybody. They are entertainers and have great stories for people. So although we have partially problems to find the partners, when we changed the tourism bureaus who were not on our side with the cooperation with the small local businesses, it's a win-win situation because people are still happy to go there. I told you that we try to evaluate and try to get some data from selling of the passports. For me, it's really interesting to see which are entry places for short trippers on Route 66, and passport is a great product because people buy passport as a something when they start their trip. So we can see the correlations, and of course, Wilmington is our best place. Thank you, Holly, for all you're doing for this project with the tulip, because launching pad promotes passport so much, and people like it there. Other place is Pontiac. Thank you again, ladies. That's a great place. Okay, these are two places are, let me say, in the beginning of Route 66. So it makes a logic that they are strong. But other strong places, St. Louis, Uranus, Missouri, Fanning Outpost, Tulsa in Oklahoma, and after that it's Winslow, Flagstaff, Williams, and Amboy, Royce Cafe. I was really surprised that Los Angeles is not so strong enough in sales than Amboy, but partially it can be based on selling skills of managers. Because in Royce Cafe there is Manny Lopez and he sells everything. So maybe it's about that, but we can see the correlation between the sales of the passport and entry places where people enter Route 66 when they don't travel whole length. So We will evaluate it more, and we will provide the data because I think that it can be really important for people on Route 66 to see where the people entry and follow Route 66. Meanwhile, we need to figure out where they leave Route 66 after the trip. So I don't have this data yet. Okay, as I said, Route 66 became an incredible marketing tool for Route 66 associations, tourist offices, and initiatives. It offers easy interaction with potential customers, and it's a huge opportunity to share marketing, promotional materials with local communities. We generally increased stops on Route 66. And the side effect was that people started to ask stamps in the places which are not official stamp places. We have no problem with that. We are allowed to see that people are stopping there and talk to people on Route 66 and show their interest. And this is a big surprise for me. We have great feedback. Many people send us a message that, we have not all the stamps in our passports, so it's a reason to go back. Some people are complaining, and some people take it as an opportunity to go back. So you can see the approach, how they travel on Route 66. Okay, we decided with Kim Hinckley as a co-author of Route 66 Passport. He's a very important member of the project team with Dries Bessels also, and Joyce Cole from Pontiac, for project team, that we will announce two news for Passport on this conference. First one is that, okay, now we created something which is popular and which helps to stamp places on Route 66. How we can help other places which can't afford to pay for participation, because the production costs are really high for this passport, so participants pay some costs for that. And we created together during the session with Bart Turner from Gay Barta Station an idea which is called Become Route 66 Guardian. In the next edition of Passport, we will create a special page. We identify 6 to 9 places in cooperation with Route 66 associations. And we will focus our users to go there, buy special small sticker for $1 to help them raise more money to survive, preserve that place for renovation or something like that. And cumulatively, we can create a new funding opportunity worth $60,000 and more per year with this. It will be not easy to identify these places. This is the reason why we want to cooperate with associations and ask them to identify them. Every year, the places will be changed. So we want to make it very clear and fair for everybody. And we believe that the marketing power of the passport will help preserve more places on Route 66. And the second news is we want to dedicate every edition of the passport to some personality who passed away. This year's edition was dedicated to Willem Bohr. He was an artist from Netherlands who made a lot of miniatures on Route 66. We did it in cooperation with Dries Bessels and Monique Bohr. And for next year, we'd like to dedicate the edition to Mr. Gary Turner from Gay Barta Station. Okay, this is other way how to help to promote Route 66 businesses in cooperation, very close cooperation with Holly and Tully. Next week we'll introduce their new webpage, which will be interactive, and we provided our professional skills to build the page which will attract more people for certain places like launching parties.
The hot dog flies across the screen when you pull up your website. And then the shake kind of like floats into the picture too. It's pretty amazing.
You're making us hungry.
I know.
Yeah. Last 3 years we collected a lot of data and we tried to deeply understand how international tourism works on Route 66. So it makes a good basis for collaborations, consultations, strategy, business development. So if you are interested in more information or some analysis how it works and how people from especially Europe where we are home travels on Route 66, we are here for any kind of collaboration. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes.
I wanted to make a couple comments. I'll try and do this quickly. But the reason why your project is so significant and strategic is most folks don't understand how money, tourism money, promotion money, gets spent for international travelers in this country. I will tell you, Ellie and I have been there, we've done that. Once you leave Oklahoma, none of those states, none of those Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is where tourism money goes, are promoting Route 66 internationally. They're not. I've talked to them. I've been there. Illinois right now, this week, the reason why the tourism director for Illinois isn't here, because she's running a Route 66 sales mission to Japan. That doesn't happen in California. That is Jim Hinckley. That doesn't happen in Arizona. That does not happen in Texas, and that does not happen in New Mexico. There is money within the system. You all need to begin to find a way to put pressure on the public entities that control those tourism funds. We've got the 100th birthday coming up. People are going to be coming. There aren't any plans to deal with that once you get beyond Oklahoma. That's a sad fact.
You're absolutely right. We can see it if you go through the passport. Illinois and Missouri are most occupied pages in the passport, and as we travel west, the points were less and less. But I hope that after first year, when we introduce the passport, the table will be turned, because a lot of places contacted us. They seen the passport, the quality of the product. They seen the success, especially in Illinois and Missouri, and now they want to participate. They want to be part of the project. Also, when I prepared this presentation, I have an idea for new project which will promote Route 66, especially in Europe and in identified countries. Because I didn't mention it, we use this data for targeted advertisement for our products. It doesn't make sense for me to advertise Route 66 products in Poland, for example, because it's not on top list. So I target all advertisement in these countries. And of course, I spend the money with a ratio how strong is interest for Route 66 in each country. And first, back to my project. First, I want to discuss this project with people like Ellie, Beth Wiles, Jennifer Hollenkamp-Vincent, and others. And if I will see potential, or if you will see the potential in this project, I will announce it. And I think that it could be a way how to promote Route 66 more in Europe and how to attract more tourists there. And it will be very, very focused and targeted project to people who want to travel Route 66. So later, more details later.
All right, another dirty secret. The U.S. is a rotten international travel partner. Okay, basically travel to the U.S. is controlled by the EU. Gets a blank check. Okay, But we have a visa waiver program that limits, that gates the number of people who can come from India, from Brazil even though, but we're getting close to that, from Argentina. You know, you will not get, there's a limited number of seats that are going to get allowed. And they keep trying to make progress on this, but Japan's not a problem, China's not a problem. Azerbaijan is. I mean, so there's stuff behind the scenes that you need to begin to interact with the folks in your locations who deal with this, because we have the great opportunity to place more pressure on it, because we got the 100th birthday of the most famous in the world coming up, and what are you doing about that in Kingman, Arizona? And Jim and I have talked about this. So there are good reasons to try and get this stuff changed, but right now you're running into a lot of institutional crap that just does not make this happen as easily as it should. People want to come. Doesn't mean they're going to get in unless you're from one of the anointed countries where we have a good relationship.
I think it's about if you make it easier for them.
Yep.
For us in European Union, the ESTA program was a big help to travel to America. We don't have a visa program. We have ESTA program, which is simplified visa. We just fill in form on internet, and in 72 hours you will get the answer if you are allowed to enter USA or not. It's really easy. It costs, I don't think, $10. Before ESTA, we need to visit embassy, US embassy in our capitals, stay in the queues and pay, I don't know, $100 for visa. And many times we didn't get a visa for unknown reason. So ESTA really helps tourism from Europe, in America. So, but it's about politics. I don't know about the visa politics of USA.
It's not a problem for Europe. It's a big problem in Latin America. It's a big problem in most of Asia.
Yeah.
Even India is a huge potential market, and we haven't opened it up to them.
What's the trademark update? Anything positive going on with that, with the Route 66 trademark issue in Europe?
Oh, this is a sad story. I don't know how much you know about it. In Zurich, there is a European-based company which somehow, nobody knows how, registered Route 66 shield as a trademark for the whole world, for all the classes. It means that they have registration for t-shirts, navigation, boots, I don't know, cars, everything. And especially in Europe, when you do something and use Route 66 shields, they immediately contact you through their lawyers and ask you for money. They ask us for 20% of income, not profit, income. So it's really complicated because they are pushing all the people who are using Route 66 shield in Europe. I tried to figure out how it worked with this company in America. I learned that there was some initiative, some gift shops created association against them, but that web page is not active anymore. I think 7, 8, or 10 years ago. They failed here in America because I know that Route 66 shield is a public domain shield, so they never won fight here. So they came back to Europe and now pushing all the people in Europe, all other countries from the world. The situation is really bad, especially in Europe, because if you want to open a dispute with them, you need to open in every European country separately. So nobody can afford that for lawyers. I'm in contact with Bob Thomas, with Bill Kelly. I discussed the situation with Jim Livingstone. I was in contact with one lawyer from Chicago, they told me that, okay, you are safe in America because they never win in the court, but potentially it's a problem because if you want run a shop, if you want export anything with a shield of Route 66, they can harm you in every European or Asian country, because I found that they have this trademark in China, Malaysia, India, every country. It's a shame. It's a shame. I can't understand how it's possible, because in Europe it's not possible to register the sign, road sign, and Route 66 shield is formerly road sign. I don't understand it, but it's unclear. It's unclear, and currently I'm waiting for some feedback from people here in America. What Bill Kelly will.
Well, first of all, Holly is a trademark killer. So, but you understand the issue. I've asked the National Park Service to get the Department of Interior to get clarification about whether or not. I think the issue's got to come back and say it's in the public domain, it doesn't affect here. But I've asked her to look into what does it do for our colleagues and friends across the water. And if they're, because the Norwegian Supreme Court told them to go to hell. Okay, there is a case that they threw out. But it would be nice to get some clear direction of here's how you defend this, or here's how you approach them, and put these people back where they belong.
Maybe I'm naive, but maybe American government can push.
That's what I was wondering, if we can help with this, because a lot of this is a facade, because the trademark here, the office that does that is not an enforcing body. And so they have to go and sue all these people. So if everybody ignores what they're doing and goes, it would create an incredible strain on them to have to go and enforce all of this stuff if it's the same concept over in Europe and all of the other countries. You see what I'm saying? They have to go and fight and defend their trademark.
Because, by the way, they have valid trademark.
It doesn't matter.
In USA, but they can't use it here.
Right, so you can't do anything about it. It's not an enforcing body. So if it's not an enforcing body in Europe, then there's, all they can do is just, just
threaten
and so don't.
I'm really curious, because our situation is that the last letter was that they dropped the percentage from 20% to 12.
See, they're buckling already,
yes.
that's what they're doing.
And we sent them to hell, but in better words.
And as soon as we get
with the F word, and now we are waiting what will happen. But they can really harm us in Europe. We can really have a problem as a Slovakian company which is running Route 66 navigation app and the passport. So, of course, we are, how to tell it, we are old enough to have plan B. So, at the end of the day, we will move the company here to America, all the trademarks and everything, and they can try it here. But it should be better to clarify this forever for everybody, because it's not about our fight with them. It touches everybody who make a business or initiatives on Route 66.
First of all, that's an excellent idea that ought to be built upon. Maybe have everybody funnel through their North American consignees. This is one of the other reasons we got to get that federal legislation through, because then we will be able to ask and get that clarified. Because I think it's a matter of just got to survive till then. Don't put up with their shit. Okay, push back as strongly as you feel comfortable in doing. But I love the idea of move everything over here, and then maybe you become a conduit for everybody else who's being threatened by them.
That's right.
That's the way to
We'll
fight
help
them.
you with this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would the EU itself be any place to conduct
You,
this?
who the hell knows what's going on? Forgive me, they're trying to figure out, do we have an EU? No disrespect.
Okay.
It'll get better.
Thank you.
Well, I'm for a time we can have people go over and break their knees.
Yeah. You're in Chicago.
All right, so Beth goes to fun.
Well, break one of their knees, singular.
Okay, please.
Just on a brighter note, back to the 100th anniversary thing, what is your perspective on who is specifically from the European going to come in the 100th year for our celebrations?
And the World Cup.
And well, you know, I mean, what is your perspective on that? And then the second part of that question is, do you plan on having a 100th anniversary edition for your passport?
Definitely. Okay, first part of the question, frankly, I don't know.
Nobody plans for it? Nobody, there's been no word of?
Not yet, not yet. It was really tough year for us because we announced application just last year. This year, we did a lot of improvements in application based on feedback of people to make it perfect for their trip during this season. So we were 18, 20 hours per day behind the computer. And also this year we introduced the passport. That was second project which was really hard to push to the successful finish. But we will start to solve it very soon. So it is just too early for me to ask me for that. The second part of the question, we will prepare some special edition for 100 year anniversary. Yes, definitely. The concept of the passport is based on every year's edition to keep it fresh, to keep it with the best service which we can provide to Route 66 travelers. And of course, the 100th anniversary will be honored by something special. I don't know yet what it will be, but I think that we have great project team, which is, by the way, open to any other participants with the good ideas. And we want to make it good enough for this anniversary events all the year, which will be. Yep.
How long is the current passport going to last?
Sorry?
How long is the current passport going to be used?
We started to distribute it in June.
So it'll go through 2020 as well?
Yes, it will go through 2020 until May, when we exchange the edition
Okay.
for new one.
Okay.
I hope that next year it will be more smooth, because this year we were 2 weeks late behind the plans because of production issues, and some participants sent us materials very late. But we plan to change it in May.
Okay.
And May will be every year the month when we will change the edition for next season. Is it good for you?
It's awesome for us, yeah.
Thank you.
And Joyce is getting ready to close, so we're going to have to get some from her to actually make available inside the museum
It will be
for the
great.
winter months. So
will be
we're,
I can bring you some more.
oh, I think we've got some. Joyce still has some of hers, but if we don't, I'll let you
Yeah, just
know.
let me know.
I don't know how many she originally started with, but I think there's still, you probably know inventory more than I do.
A lot of them, because based on that map, we distribute the passports in a new way to be sure that everybody will have enough passports on their storages.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tim?
1 second.